Hi everyone, this is Joni Zander. I am your team leader of Team Essentially Healed. And tonight I'm going to be talking to you about stress. So let's just dive right in. Here's a fun fact, or maybe a not so fun fact. 90% of doctor's visits are because of stress in one way or another. So, chew on that for a second. There are three basic forms of stress. So one is physical, accidents, injuries, traumas. So, maybe a car accident or a fall, maybe a broken bone. The second form is chemical. So bacterial, viruses, hormones, foods, heavy metals, toxins like maybe alcohol or other drugs, blood sugar levels. And the third form is emotional. So this would include your losses, it would include finances, deadlines, maybe traffic. So all of those things that kind of jack us up emotionally. All stress takes us out of balance in one way or another. And it's that imbalance that causes a lot of health issues and causes a lot of people to head to the doctor. When you perceive a threat, you go into what we refer to as fight or flight. I'm sure you've heard of that before. And when you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, do you want your energy going to digesting your food or running away from the tiger? So how much of your energy do you want going toward running away? Well, that would hopefully be 100% of your energy, right? The thing is, our bodies don't do a very good job of discerning stress from a life-threatening situation and, say, doing your taxes. So your adrenal glands pump out adrenaline, cortisol, and noradrenaline like we are in a life-threatening situation, no matter what kind of stress we're experiencing. This takes resources or energy away from our digestive system, our immune system, our brain, our reproductive system. And this affects your memory and concentration. It makes you so you can't digest your food properly. You can't eliminate toxins effectively, and it compromises your immune system. Because we're experiencing so much stress all the time, we are constantly putting energy toward running away from that non-existent saber-toothed tiger. Stress hormones are so good at inhibiting the immune system that when doctors transplant an organ, they give the patient stress hormones to suppress their immune system so that their system does not reject the foreign organ. Unfortunately, stress hormones do the same thing to our immune system when we're not having an organ transplant. And that is a problem. So that's kind of the groundwork as to why stress is bad. And maybe it's worse than you thought, but certainly you already knew that stress is bad. And the fact that it's the core issue for 90% of all doctors' visits. So knowing all of that, what do we do about it? Sure, there are awesome oil recommendations. The flower oils like lavender, spikenard, geranium, clary sage, ylang ylang, and we have some awesome blends: Elevation, Balance, Citrus Bliss, Aroma Touch, Peace, Serenity, Yarrow Palm, and so many others. Most essential oils will actually help you reduce stress. And these are all super effective. Now, why are they effective? Because when you change the chemicals in your brain, you change the reactions. So your reactions will have an immediate effect throughout your whole body. While the stress you've experienced sent adrenaline and noradrenaline throughout your body to excite your large muscles so that you could run away from that tiger, the essential oils calm that whole process down and allows your body to stand down. If you find yourself having a hard time settling down after you've had a stressful situation, in addition to the oils, exercise can help a lot because it allows you to use that escape energy that your body has produced. So I've been saying each week for a while now, and it bears repeating here, find an exercise you really love. So if you find your body coursing with adrenaline, maybe put on some favorite music with a really good beat. And you know how you have different music for different moods. So maybe you turn on that really hard pumping music, turn it up really loud and start moving your body or your booty. Find that music that you can't help but move to and play it really loudly. Another idea is boxing. So my daughter really likes to use boxing to release stress. Jazzercise can be another great stress reducer because it's super positive and it's good for all ages and abilities. And jazzercise can be found in most communities. To reduce stress in general in your life, focus on the positive. So did you know that it takes 5 positive comments to counteract a single negative comment? So how do we do this? I have 3 different ideas for you. The first is to eliminate self-talk. Last week I mentioned that what worked for me was to wear a strong rubber band on my wrist and snap it every time I found that I was talking down to myself. So this took a month, but that was 18 years ago. And I'm still really good at not talking down to myself. Number 2 is surround yourself with positive people. We tend to be most like the 5 people we spend the most time with. So make sure that those 5 people who have so much impact on you are the people who deserve to be in your close circle. If you have some close friends or family members who are super negative and you don't want to cut them out of your life, just make sure that you're spending time with more positive people. So just make sure they're not one of your 5 people, right? And if they are someone you still want to spend a lot of time with, maybe give them their own rubber band. Number 3 is to keep a gratitude journal or an impact journal. Because we are hardwired to remember the negative over the positive, I was actually reading today that we process negative thoughts in a different part of our brain than positive thoughts. And there's a evolutionary reason why we are prone to the negative. And so for some reason, our brains actually spend more time with negative experiences than they do with positive experiences. So writing down what you're grateful for or who you've impacted will really help you to remember at the end of the day or the week what is good in your life. Are you guys familiar with the idea of an impact journal? So the idea is that you just keep a journal of the things that you've done that have impacted someone positively. So if you shared oils with someone and they had a good experience, or maybe you were in church and someone new was sitting next to you and you shared a hymnal with them, or anything. It can be so small, but those small acts build up to big impact throughout your life. And it's so hard to remember those impacts that you've had on people if you don't keep track of them. Okay, so I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but meditation is one of the best ways to reduce stress, change your neural pathways, and reclaim your health and your life. This doesn't have to look a certain way. So I've mentioned before, I just do a simple guided meditation before I get out of bed. Another very simple way to meditate is to just count your breath. I believe that prayer is a form of meditation. You can also do box breathing. So this might be completely new to you, and we're going to actually try this together right now. So how it looks is you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. And we're going to do that 4 times. Before we start, I want you to just notice your level of calm versus stress right now. So maybe this idea of this weird breathing is causing you some stress right now. Who knows? So we're going to, so I'm just going to count it out for you. So we're going to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now, what is your level of calm versus stress? And did it change at all?
I think I was fairly calm before, but
I was too, but it really, it always works, always.
Right? Yeah, it's really, I love that. It's just so simple. And so I just really, really want you guys to not think that meditation is a big deal. I heard last year, I heard someone say they didn't have time to meditate for 5 minutes. And so the recommendation was to meditate for an hour. It's like, if you don't have time to meditate, then you need to meditate even more. Okay, so another very simple meditation that you can do is just observe your thoughts in the shower. Just observe them. Don't try to control them or stop them. Just watch them like you're watching a movie. Okay, that's another form of meditation. And then another form is walking a labyrinth. This can be a really powerful meditation. And there are labyrinths all over the place. I found one in downtown Ely, Nevada, not expecting it there. I found one just last week in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. And there's even one at the RV park that I'm at right now. And if you're lucky enough to be in Corvallis, my friend Tracy Merritt runs the Laughing Labyrinth Peace Project. This is a guided labyrinth where she encourages you to do these really deep belly laughs while you're walking the labyrinth. So it doesn't have to be super solemn. It can be very fun. Laughing is actually a great way to release stress. I actually went to a comedy show last night. It was so much fun. And it's such good core work to laugh hard. And of course, there are so many different types of meditation, and you can find meditation circles in your community or even possibly at your church. But my best advice for reducing stress is to design your life. Now, you may be thinking that that's great for me, but you could never do that. You have kids, grandkids, a spouse, a house. You have too many people relying on you in your community. What I want you to do this week is really look at everything you do and ask yourself if you're doing it because you want to do it or because someone else wants you to or expects you to. Just observe. I'm not asking you to make any changes yet. Maybe keep a journal so that you can review after the week is over. That's it. Just notice and keep a record of it. And then we'll talk more about designing your life next week. Okay, so now I want to hear from you. I know some of you are really good at reducing stress in your life, and so I want to hear what your best strategies are.
I do the square breathing. I like that. And I've learned that when we breathe in for whatever exercises that we're purposely breathing, it's best to breathe in through our nose.
Mm-hmm.
Because neurologically, it actually affects our brain in a different way than when we're using our mouth. It's more direct. I think it's more like the chakra energy,
Mm-hmm.
crown chakra, probably, and the frequency that creates. And then I've actually incorporated meditation in most every day, and I found out that I actually need it.
Mm-hmm.
I need it. And I have different ones. I'll have guided meditations, or I'll have just beautiful music and, meditation music. There's a difference in that. Meditation music is just, it doesn't have a melody and
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah. And they also usually have, are very specific on the frequency on
Yes.
purpose. And because you get the beta and the delta and the gamma and the theta,
Mhm.
levels of brain waves.
There are different schools of thought for meditation as far as breathing goes, and it seems like everyone breathes in through the nose. Some meditations breathe out through the mouth, and some breathe out through the nose. And there's a specific name, I think it's Anapura, something like that, for the nose breathing meditation. Another super simple meditation is just to count your breathing.
Yeah.
Just count your breathing. Just in silence or with meditation music. And as far as guided meditations, you can find anything on YouTube.
Mhm.
And Louise Hayes has a lot of really good ones. Hers are very healing. And so just finding her guided meditations on YouTube, very easy. And if you don't like hers, you can find somebody else. If her voice doesn't do it for you, or her pacing or whatever. Other stress reducing or stress eliminating or stress avoiding. I think it's really important to avoid stress as well.
Retirement pretty well took care of that for me.
And so what is it about retirement that reduces stress?
I don't have to be any place at any certain time.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty well choose when and where and what you want to do,
Yep.
for how long you want to do it. I find for me, stress, if I get really stressed out, I've got 2 or 3 contemporary Christian choruses that I just sing over and over and over in my head. And that helps me.
Excellent. And singing, I'm glad you brought that up. So singing actually, there's lots of different reasons, health reasons for singing. So singing, not just in your head, but out loud, it opens up your throat chakra, but it also does something to your vagus nerve, and that is the main nerve in your body that controls your digestion and controls lots and lots and lots of different things, your adrenals. And so singing, just turn up some tunes wherever you are, in your car or in your house, and just start singing along. And that makes a huge difference. Now, I know, Janae, you're in the choir. Anybody else in choir? That singing is so good for our health. Amazing.
I find that I'm laying in bed and the choir, that whatever we're singing for Sunday is going over bits and pieces of it over and over and over again.
That happens to me when I'm in choir too. Thank you for your input. Any other tips or tricks that you guys have for either avoiding or reducing or dealing with stress?
Sometimes I'll just stop and stretch. I just stop and stretch. And one of my favorite stretches is I am just perfect height to hang from a door jamb. I mean, I actually don't have to hang, but and then I lean back and I make myself hang. And oh, I don't know, that just is so relaxing.
Oh, and that's awesome, because that's so good for your shoulders too. And I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but a lot of people forget about it. One of the weirdest symptoms of post-menopause is spontaneous frozen shoulder. And so stretching out those shoulders can be so important if you're postmenopausal.
I know that it's my chiropractor told me this years ago. I was dealing with some carpal tunnel, and he goes, "Oh, carpal tunnel starts up here."
Mm-hmm.
He says, "So stand in a doorway or somewhere where you can just lean, hands really wide, open, and
Mm-hmm.
stand in a doorway and just stretch back. It cures it."
Excellent.
And
That's good to know.
yeah, and just stretch from your fingertips all the way to your shoulders, because carpal tunnel starts up here.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love this collaboration when we do this.
Yes.
All this good information we all have to share.
For me, for de-stressing, it usually is, I'll play with my dogs. I'll call my son if I don't have him. I'll call him, or just watch, a comedy. Usually, that's my main genre is comedy.
Yeah.
So usually what I'll do.
And comedy's so good because that laughter is so good.
Just started exercising too a couple days ago, so we're gonna hopefully stick with that. Coworker, friend of mine, his apartment complex has a workout center, and I can come over there for free. So it's a really good price. So
Yep.
we've started that, and it's kind of nice because we just jumped. We're talking about Thursday, and we said, well, let's just start on Friday. Let's just start tomorrow. Let's not even give ourselves time to, whatever. And we just started the next day. Went on Saturday. We didn't go yesterday or today, but then we're going back. We're going to try to do 5 days a week, and then maybe go to 6 days a week. So I'm pretty happy for that.
And what kind of exercise are you guys doing?
Right now we're just doing a little bit of we'll start on either the treadmill or the bike for 15 20 minutes, try to get our heart rate up to a good level. We're actually warmed up, and then we've been doing some different different muscle groups with the weight thing that they've got in there. It's like strings getting the weight, and so we've tried to do different parts of the body, so we're not just completely stove up on one side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good, and I'm happy to get back doing it.
Yeah, and that's, one of the things that you said is key to sticking with exercise is to do it with somebody.
Yeah.
Most of us are, myself especially, are better at sticking with it if we're meeting somebody. So, because we don't want to let them down. We're really good at letting ourselves down, but we don't want to let somebody else down.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can make a commitment with somebody to exercise with them, you're going to be much more likely to stick with it and to carry through. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. This was awesome.